Hello, friends. Let's talk about Sky. Sky is the second book in the Starless Clan arc, and if I could summarize how I felt reading this book, it would be intrigued but uncomfortable. I wanted to see what happens next, but I also really was tempted to just look up a video or something and not have to actually read the book. I loved it, but I also hated it. I'm not going to spend too long summarizing because I'm sure you've read it already. If you haven't read it already, spoilers ahead, you have been warned. I'm not going to go too into detail with the recap. I'm going to read you the blurb from inside the book, the inside cover right here. I'm going to read you the summary from the wiki, the Warriors fandom wiki, that is, and then we're going to get right into my thoughts and theories. Alright. Opening blurb. A clan in crisis. Tragedy has struck at the heart of River Clan, and its survival depends on the young medicine cat apprentice Frostpaw. As her clan's only connection to StarClan, she knows every one of her clanmates is counting on her. Even her mentor Mothwing is looking to her for answers. The cats of River Clan can agree on one thing. They must keep their moment of weakness a secret from the other clans. But when Thunder Clan and Shadow Clan turn to their neighbors for help as an outbreak of sickness rages through their camps, Frostpaw's clan's secret becomes harder and harder to keep. With River Clan in crisis, Thunder Clan's leadership unexpectedly faltering, and Shadow Clan's impatience growing, the balance of the clans is as precarious as ever, and all it will take is one spark to burst into flame. Alright, that doesn't really tell us a lot. Here's the summary from the fandom wiki. With Greencough striking at Shadow Clan's youngest, Nightheart and Sunbeam embark on a quest to find more catmint. Nightheart finds himself growing more unsettled with his clan, Sunbeam grows more concerned about Berryheart's plans, and Frostpaw finds herself making a difficult choice. Alright, so that's the summary from the wiki. Here's what you need to know. Rowan Kit, which is another one of Tiger Star and Devwing's kits, gets Greencough. Nobody has any catmint. They need to go on a quest to find more catmint. 3 of the 5 clans, that's Shadow Clan, Thunder Clan, and Sky Clan, I'm pretty sure. They all send cats. Yeah, that's correct. They all send cats on a quest to Two Leg Place to find catmint. Nightheart hates his clan because he hates everything, like always. Sunbeam is upset at her friends because they've fallen in love with each other, but also she's not really that upset. She's more upset with her mom, Berryheart, who is racist. And then Frostpaw. Poor Frostpaw of River Clan. Frostpaw is supposed to pick the next leader. She picks Owlnose because she's told that she needs to make an unexpected choice. The exact words of StarClan, or StarClan, but we'll get to that, are that it has to be the most unexpected choice. She has to look in an unexpected place, something like that. And so she chooses Owlnose, because that name pops into her head. And she assumes, oh, this must be StarClan talking to me, telling me I need to pick Owlnose. Which, let's be real, for a medicine cat apprentice who is still an apprentice, still a little bitty baby, and also does not have any guidance from her mentor about how to talk to StarClan, that's a pretty safe assumption. Like, I don't want anyone to be blaming Frostpaw for this. I haven't seen anyone blaming Frostpaw, but still, let's not blame Frostpaw. Please and thank you. And then eventually he says, I don't want to be leader. And then at the end of the book, Tiger Star, the leader of Shadow Clan, offered to help River Clan. River Clan says no, and this is after they've confessed to the clans most of what's going on. They've had Fidget Flake from Sky Clan come over to help them with medicine cat stuff. And basically Tiger Star says, Shadow Clan will lead River Clan until you've got your stuff figured out. River Clan says, no thank you, we've got this. At the end of the book, Shadow Clan shows up saying, we are taking over now. River Clan says, more forcefully this time, no thank you, We're good. We do not need your help. They fight. There is a battle. And I'm reminding you again, this is the very end of the book. Like, very ending. They do this. Last 2 chapters, they have this battle. Shadow Clan wins. They're going to lead River Clan and help. This is where the book ends. And at this point, my mind was, what? What is happening? You know? So it was predictable. Oh yeah, something else kind of hinted at in the summary. Nightheart thinks that he can leave his clan to go join Shadow Clan and be Sunbeam's mate. Which, pardon my language, I'm sorry, Warrior Cats is a book series for children, but this is not a YouTube channel for children. Fuck no. Stay in your clan. Oh my god. There is a line where it says, let me find it real quick. I have it written in my notes, but Tiger Star says, we're here to help you. And he says, I gave you a choice. And this is Duskfur says, and his claws are like in Duskfur's neck. Surrender or die, Duskfur croaked. Is that a choice? What a raw fucking line. My thoughts on the battle, the whole thing needed to happen sooner. There was a lot of tension throughout this whole book, and the battle really broke that tension bubble that this book is encased in. And I just think it needed to happen sooner. But again, that's a good ending to a book, so I'm not too mad. Overall, my thoughts on the book. Not enjoying the forced romances. Oh my god, they're trying to force Frostpaw to have a crush when it does not fit in her storyline at all. They're trying to fit Sunbeam and Nightheart together, which I don't like. Sunbeam deserves better. If you heard me talk about the first book, which I did not make a video on, I'm sorry. I will if people want me to. But I am very firmly anti-Nightheart. I am still very firmly anti-Nightheart. I am very, very, very firmly anti-Sunbeam and Nightheart. Sun, Night, whatever their ship name is that should not exist. I think the political drama, the interpersonal drama, oh my god, the Aarons might be able to pull this off. This arc has potential. This arc, it has so much potential. This arc could get people invested in Warrior Cats again. I felt like a kid reading this. The Aarons might be able to pull this off. Again, though, if I could summarize how I felt reading the book in 3 words, it would be intrigued, yet uncomfortable. I want to see what happens with the political and interpersonal drama, but there's a lot of racism in this book, and it makes me very, very uncomfortable. And in contrast to the first book, Sunbeam actually calls out the racism that she sees around her. When her mom is saying racist things, she eventually stands up to her mom and says, what the hell is wrong with you? I'm not getting involved in this. And I know that racism isn't supposed to be comfortable, and Warriors has never been a light series, but this feels too heavy even for Warriors, you know? Also, the COVID parallels with the Greencough storyline. Very, very uncomfortable. Back to the Greencough storyline, it was insanely rushed. I've barely talked about it because the book barely talked about it. It was so rushed. It went nowhere in the end. There was so much tension there. There was so much potential. They were starting to blame Sky Clan for the Greencough getting people sick in the first place, even though it's winter, it's leaf bare, that people are going to get sick, you know? The journey felt like an early conclusion to this storyline, and everyone just moved on so quickly from it. Rowan Kit died. Yeah, that's a tragedy. I think the Aarons, they didn't commit to this. They had a chance to commit, and they didn't. So Aarons, do better. Commit to your storylines. back to Sky Clan again. The book is named Sky. This is the second book. River Clan, it was all about River Clan. River. The book was called River, and it was all about River Clan. This book, it is called Sky. It's right there on the cover. You can see. It is called Sky. And for a book named Sky, it did not focus on Thunder. It did not focus on Sky Clan at all. I feel like it could have been called Thunder because it focused so much on Thunder Clan. It could have been Shadow. I'm so confused. I am confused about why this one was Sky. The most that Sky Clan was involved, Sky Clan sent their medicine cat to help River Clan at the ending of the book. Sky Clan sent some cats on patrol. Sky Clan was the victim of racism and bigotry. That was their most involvement in the plot, was being the victims of racism and bigotry. And if we're already leaning into that storyline, why can't we just commit to it and involve Sky Clan? The book is named Sky. This frustrates me so much. This is one thing that I just really, really, really hated about this book. There's no involvement of Sky Clan, which is my favorite clan. That's something that, if you know me, if you've talked with me about warrior cats, which, please, this video is an open invitation for you to talk to me about warrior cats. You know I love Sky Clan. They're my favorite clan. They have my favorite, well, one of my favorite super editions, two of my favorite super editions, actually, is Firestar's Quest and Sky Clan's Destiny. I love Sky Clan. I love Leaf Star. I love them so much, and they were not involved in this book at all named Sky. I mean, you can imagine my disappointment, right? We've talked about one villain, Berryheart, and now let's move on to another villain, Curlfeather. She's dead now. She died in the first book. She is still a compelling villain because you aren't sure. Is she really the villain? Was she twisting Frostpaw's thoughts? Was she planting these seeds of doubt and denial with the trust no cat from the beginning? Was she in on it? Or wasn't she? Was she meant to be leader? Did she plant the sign in the first book? The dogs, were they meant to kill her? They're setting this up like a fucking murder mystery, and they're not leaning into it enough. I'm sorry, lean in. You're setting up these plot points and then you don't commit. You need to commit. You need to lean in. Frostpaw, she's not getting enough plot time. Nightheart and Sunbeam, they get to develop through each other's point of views also, but Frostpaw only has her own point of view, and that is not enough. Nightheart and Sunbeam each managed to take up 2/3 of this book. That's 4/3. The math doesn't add up. They each managed to take up 2/3 of this book, and then Frostpaw barely gets her own 1/3. You know? It's not evenly split. It's not fair. Frostpaw has the most intriguing storyline by far, and they're just not. My personal theory is that they don't have enough plot points, and they know it, and so they're trying to stretch out the plot points across the books. Overall, I do not think I would have read this book in the first place if Warriors was not my special interest. I'm glad that I read it, but at a lot of the times it felt like it dragged in comparison to River. I hope that this was just one book that was slow, and that the rest of the arc picks up the action and the mystery elements again, because the action, the mystery, the intrigue, there is so much potential there, and they're just not leaning into it enough. Okay. We're going to talk about theories. I need some water first. I have lots of Warrior Cat stickers on here. You can even see Proudly Sky Clan. I'm not going back to that point. Okay, the first theory is one that I've seen floating around a lot. Frostpaw is a death prophet. In this book, it confirms she's not getting any visions from StarClan. Her visions are coming from somewhere else. I like the death prophet theory. I don't think that the Aarons would have thought of that on their own, but I like it. Also, where are her visions coming from? Are they coming from the same whatever beyond place that the Three's powers came from? Because they've said before, like, the Three, the Lionheart and Jayfeather and Dovewing, they did not get their powers from StarClan. They got their powers from something beyond that, something beyond StarClan. We need to talk about that more. Like, we as a fandom do not talk about that. Can we talk about that, please? Is that where Frostpaw's powers are coming from? Are we going to find out more about that? Are we going to bring back Midnight the Badger? Please. She's a ghost. I learned that at 21 years old, which is the age that I am now. I learned that like a couple months ago, that Midnight the Badger is actually a ghost. She is not an alive badger. What? That, like, we can bring her back, right? We can bring back Rock and the Ancients. I feel like there's so much potential to bring back old plot points that never got fully resolved, with explaining Frostpaw's visions and powers. If she's not a Death Prophet, how is Curlfeather communicating with her from the beyond? What powers did Curlfeather have? Frostpaw was told that the next leader of RiverClan is going to be an unexpected choice. And the obvious unexpected choice, which makes me think it's not actually going to be her Mothwing. I know she's the medicine cat, hear me out. She was already basically leading the clan. If you've read the book, you know. Mothstar, I feel like at this point, is the obvious choice. And we've been told it's not the obvious choice. So who's it going to be? I feel like it's also setting the stage for a cat from a different clan to be the leader, which I would not like. I feel like it's setting the stage for, by the ending, Nightheart being the leader, and I would not like that. Nightheart is so immature. I promised myself that this would not become an anti-Nightheart video. Speaking of clan leaders, Squirrelstar, Squilf, our collective beloved, again feels very obvious. Bramblestar, after everything that happened with the imposter in the last arc, after everything that's happened in these two books so far, Bramblestar is finally going to be voted out of power. Just no more Bramblestar. Squirrelflight will become the leader. And I've been rooting for Squirrelstar since I was a kid, so I don't really like that it's going to continue Firestar's lineage. Like, Nightheart does have a point there, which pains me to say that Nightheart has a point. But who in ThunderClan is not related to Firestar at this point? Like, honestly. Okay. Last of all, my personal theory. I have not seen anyone talk about this anywhere. If someone else is talking about this, please, please, please link, like, tell me where to find this discussion, because I feel like this is all in my head right now. Okay. The 6th clan. Hear me out. There are 5 clans. The 6th clan is StarClan. No. Hear me out. There are 6 books in an arc. That means the 6th book will either be Star for StarClan, or there will have to be a 6th clan. I firmly believe that Barry Hart will literally divide ShadowClan. This was foreshadowed in this book, that Barry Hart is going to divide ShadowClan. I don't think she's going to figuratively divide them. I think she's going to literally divide them. Either the cats who are in favor of the changes to the Warrior Code will leave, or the cats who are against the changes to the Warrior Code will leave. There will be 2 Shadow Clans. There will be a 6th clan, and that will be the 6th book. If you have any opinions that you really want to share, if you want to start a discussion, please start a discussion in the comments below. I am foaming at the mouth to talk to people about warrior cats, as you can probably see from this video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful day or night or whatever time zone you are in. And I will see you next time. Bye!